welcome to Warhammer Workshop. My name is Amy, and I am joined from the depths of Osgiliath by JF Dupont. JF, hello.
Oh, I am not enough of Lord of the Rings fan to be given such a title. I
Yeah.
am I if I'm anything from Middle Earth is one of the nameless hobbits left behind at the Shire while everything else is happening around the world.
Just eating
And
a
I
sack
think
of
there's a
breakfast.
scouring of the Shire that happens at some point, and I die.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
That's my destiny. I'm not a ring bearer. I don't fight orcs. I don't have a horse.
You
Me and
do
my
eat
donkey get killed.
many
I do eat a
breakfasts.
lot. I might be eating a breakfast right now.
Could be. So for pre-order this week, in case you hadn't figured it out, we do have the Battle for Osgiliath box that was previewed at Warhammer Fest.
I need to confess that I thought it was already out.
No,
That
we
is
only
how
saw the
detached
preview.
I am from this game.
Yeah. No, we got all the other stuff. Like we got all of the like army boxes, like the updated army boxes and stuff. That all came out, but this is new.
But it's,
And this is actually really fun that I do like that they have this. From Forge World, they're re-releasing their ring bearers models. So it's Frodo, Bilbo, but
Smeagol,
yeah, like there's a bunch of them.
probably pre-Golem Smeagol and
Yeah,
post-Golem Smeagol.
and they're all they're in clear resin, so you swap them out. You swap your models out to show the ring effects, which I thought was pretty sassy.
It's cool in a green rods on my Necron gimmicky way
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
but not like it's something that I'm glad we see once a decade from Games Workshop.
I like it better than putting a token next to your model.
I agree. I agree. Like where it works, it works,
Yes,
but it
it could
is
get old fast. Absolutely.
yeah.
We also have Gringcax Loon Court is coming for Underworlds, along with the Fearsome Fortress Rivals deck. The interesting thing about this is that found out that this was coming out this year through, which we will talk about in a little bit, through the voting for the model of the year, which happened before they announced the pre-orders for this week, and this was one of the options. I said, okay, I guess they're coming out. Squig on a stick, though. A plus, good stuff.
I have not purchased a warband in a hot second, and
Mm-hmm.
this might be one that I'm gonna get mostly because I kind of want the Squigalanche box that came out.
Yeah.
I may get it, I may not get it. I'm leaving that up to chance, but I do. I'm making some beast snagga orcs. I do have a thing for squigs in the past. Like the last
Yeah,
2 years have been big on squigs for me.
sure.
So I don't know. Like I think I'm due for a new warband, and
These are
this
pretty
is
good.
squig heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm down.
Um, so I'll get them, and I will also get the Rivals deck because they're nice to have. Um,
I need to better understand Rivals deck, and I need to get a couple so I can actually play games. The only problem is I could get Rivals deck, but I would need to purchase the all important opponent.
yeah, yeah,
I
that is
don't
my
have
current
opponents.
problem. It's
Yeah.
fine. Everything's great. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we also got very surprise. The Kill Team Critical Ops deck. It is Tac Ops and Mission Card Pack. This bad boy is sort of the open war equivalent, but for Kill Team. So if you want to just throw down, you throw down a deployment and a mission and some objectives, and then everything's great, and you just play a game. This is not specific to the Gallo Dark current run. It's more generic than that, which is fine because it'll be useful for longer. But yeah, it's a good time. We also have
It is. Can we put a pause? I need to go chase a cat off a counter.
yeah.
I'm very sorry for the edit point.
I'm just gonna leave it running though. for this edit
That was
point.
easy. But give me a sec.
Yeah. Doofus.
Just in case.
Ah. All right. Well, you'll just have to put something in here, like a swirly logo or whatever.
I'll just cut directly. It's fine.
It's fine.
People won't notice.
No. We also have for Warhammer Horus Heresy the Scorpius missile tank. There's so much.
When they announced this, I kind of had to go back to my Horus Heresy list and see where I could fit it, because it's a cool looking
It is
tank.
really cool.
But when it was just a Forge World thing, it was like, now I'm already ordering doors and shoulder pads. I don't want to order a tank on top of it.
Yeah.
But now they have a plastic one, so I might just need to order more doors so that
Yes.
the whole thing. But it is cool. It's shocking how close they made these to the Forge World version of all these models, which is cool. I think of all the systems that you want to keep loyal to the original design, Horus Heresy is probably the one, because it's all about like historical accuracy, quote unquote.
Right.
So I mean, this is neat. This is cool. I'm saying about Horus Heresy things now.
Yeah. There's so much. I'm so overwhelmed now. I don't even know anymore. So at some point that will become like a priority project, but today is not that day. I'm just happy that more things are in plastic, so that I don't have to
definitely
cart around resin.
It's interesting because we're seeing a lot of the meat and potatoes of what Forge World used to be, which is these specialty vehicles. Forge World used to be very much a replacement for Armor Cast, where they would do, instead of they would just do plastic Titans and plastic large models and large vehicles, monsters. And more that is being replaced by plastic kits, which, whether it's for Horus Heresy or Knight and everything that goes in between. So Forge World is becoming about the absolutely immense kits like Warlord Titans and Manta and vehicles, and specialty small infantry figs.
Yeah, like all of those Necromunda characters.
All those very, very cool Necromunda characters I almost bought today.
And that's about it for pre-orders this week. There's a bunch of merch. They've got some Interrogator from Warhammer Plus merch up on the merch store. They also added a bunch of Darktide merch recently, which is exciting. I do enjoy the merch store. It's a little pricey for what it is, but they are very nice. I own a few of those t-shirts, and they are very nice quality, very soft and comfy.
I don't do graphic tees enough, and my budget for hoodie has gone into other things and other hoodies recently. But I do need to spend more time on the merch store and quote unquote represent, or at least have something appropriately geeky to wear when I'm going to Adepticon.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because that leads us to the fact that by the time people hear this episode, we will be a little less than a week away, I think, or about a week away from the Adepticon cart preview going up.
That makes it all very real.
It's a little later than usual, and I think I'm with you. We've had this talk before where you mentioned that having to buy event tickets earlier kicked you in the ass efficiently to get things done. And now that it's happening later, I feel like I'm going to be racing a little bit more than I want to.
So it was pointed out to me when I was like, gee, that's late. It was pointed out to me that it's about the same time as it was last year. But previously, last year was I would have accepted last year being a fluke. But apparently this is just what we're doing now, which is fine.
It's fine. Like it's the new normal. It's the new normal. It's yeah, it's the long COVID of event participation, so to
we'll
speak.
also we'll also be about 4 weeks out from actual registration.
That is not a lot of time to let things macerate, which is not a big deal for me.
No.
Like 3 out of my 4 days are spoken for.
Yep. Yeah.
But I feel that if I had a more complex approach to Adepticon, that might be
Mm-hmm.
it might be a lot of juggling in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. We did
I'm looking
get,
forward to it though.
yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. We did get a few more previews of new items. Out of nowhere, supposedly, apparently, is a new Aegis defense line for the Astra Militarum.
Now I took a look in the codex before we started the show to see, because I remembered that there was a listing, and I remember that for a very specific reason. Is way back when, in years ago, I
Mm-hmm.
did a Tau army. Back then, Aegis defense lines were faction agnostic. You could take them for anything.
Yeah.
And but they did have a very Imperium look to them. So I
Right.
converted very specific, like the length, the size, everything. I converted a bunch of Aegis defense lines so that they would fit my Tau army that I was making at the time.
Nice.
And it's one of my most elaborate and convincing conversions that I've done so far. It's great. I love it. And when I saw the Aegis defense line in the codex, I remember seeing the listing because I thought, oh, I have these cool converted things I'll never be able to use again because now apparently it's Astra Militarum only. But the little icon in the codexes on the data slates, you always have the picture of the fig when the fig is available.
Right.
And for the Aegis defense line, instead of a fig, it's just a little icon. It looks like it's a little drawing.
Yeah.
Usually they do that when they don't have a fig.
Hmm.
And my thought was, well, did they just not have it for the codex for photography? What happened here? And I went to check, and no, it's right underneath the data slate. There is a photo of the new Aegis defense line
Ah.
that I mean, maybe someone on the internet spotted it and featured it and highlighted it, but I didn't see anyone mention that as a
No.
new mall.
No.
So it doesn't come out of nowhere, but it really snuck under everyone's radar,
Mm.
including mine.
Yeah. But it's
So there's
here.
that.
Like it's coming. It's very cool. This article on the Warhammer community is pretty cool in that it also highlights other tactical terrain for other armies, which is kind of fun.
That's nice of them.
Yeah, I like that.
It's friendly to not ignore that other people like, and I like that they separated between like the allied defenses and the enemy defenses.
Yeah.
So cool. And I like that they highlighted the Tau Tidewall shield line, because I guess if I want to use
Yeah, you
that kind of
could.
thing, I'm gonna need to buy one.
Yeah.
It's a cool kit. Like I've
It
been
is a
meaning
cool
to want to
kit.
get one.
Is that a resin one?
No, it's
Oh,
plastic.
good.
It's all plastic.
Nice.
It's got like little drone ports and things. There's a kit with a big gun. Like it's a whole thing.
Nice. Nice.
Like Tau have cool stuff. I
Yeah.
just don't have a lot of it. I have roughly 5,000 points of Tau, and very little of it is a new model.
Yeah.
Problem.
From the depths of Blood Bowl comes Nabla Blackwart, who has been around apparently for like 30 years. This particular character. I mean, like we are not deep into the Blood Bowl lore, but this little guy's great.
He is awesome, and it wouldn't take much for him to be a grot in an orc army.
Yeah, like some of the Blood Bowl models are very clearly Blood Bowl models. This little guy less so.
Yeah, because I mean, he doesn't have this very specific, like, he's not wearing anything that looks specifically like football gear, like no shoulder pads.
Right.
Even his helmet looks more like a
It's
bowl
pretty
that's been turned
generic.
upside down.
Yeah.
And chain swords or chainsaws are a very 40k thing,
Mhm.
so
So why not? Yeah.
I remember playing Blood Bowl when I was in my second year of high school.
Hmm.
Back at a time where it was all cardboard token, and then I took a 30-year break. And I never really completely went back into it.
Yeah.
Be- Mostly because like my local community is fanatical in all the correct way for people to enjoy a game, but
It's a
the
lot
worst way. Yeah,
if you're new.
it's not great when you're trying to recruit people. Like they are intense.
Like
More power for them.
if you say the words Blood Bowl in my local game store, even if the store is empty, they appear as if from nowhere with their giant
Mhm.
bags and they are ready to play immediately. And you're like, don't you have to work? I don't
It's
know
like,
where
well,
they come from.
the Blood Bowl signal went up in the sky, like,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah. The
had to
football with
answer the
spikes.
call.
Yeah. Every time. It's madness.
Like, yeah, no, you know what? I wish Aeronautica Imperialis had this level of fanaticism, because
Yeah.
this is the kind of nerd joy that keeps a game alive despite all.
It is.
Anyways, he's a cool fig.
I like
I'm
him.
not gonna get one because, like I said, he just get integrated into a unit of 30 grots,
Yeah.
which is not ideal for an expensive
But
fig.
he's cute though.
But yeah, I mean, like, look, if somehow it finds its way into my possession, so be it.
I want someone to paint it utterly perfectly for Golden Demon or something. Like I want this to be someone's Golden Demon model. Like someone give this
That would
all
be
of the
nice.
love.
Yes.
Uh,
He looks like he's doing his touchdown dance already. So
yeah,
you know.
he feels very confident. We had another preview that we mostly ignored. Because it was the Black Library preview, which is fine. Black Library is great, and there's a lot of cool stuff coming, but it's a lot.
In our defense, I would like to say that I did pop into the preview as it was happening,
Yeah.
and I don't know at which point I popped in, but whereas we usually see around the 15 to maybe 20,000
Yeah.
viewers on Twitch for a normal preview for 40K or whatever, this one had about 4,500.
Yeah.
So we are not alone in, and I don't want to say not have enthusiasm for the preview, but the book preview is a lot more. It's easier to read the article
Yeah.
after the facts than say model reveals. Model reveals, there is something about seeing the videos and getting
Mm-hmm.
excited and seeing the models for the first time and hearing Eddie, Adam, and whatever guests they have on talk about it.
Yeah.
For books, it's great, but I'm going to want to read the back cover synopsis, and like it's a more personal experience to begin with,
Yeah.
in
I
my
will say
opinion.
that the cover of this Bad Loon Rising book by Andy Clark has got me like, yep, that is my cup of tea right there. That sounds great. Andy Clark, an A+ Twitter follow also.
Yes, very very cool. I the Bad Loon Rising as a title is also
Also
not
very
bad.
good.
Pretty good.
This preview,
That being
yeah, this
go
preview
ahead.
is not devoid of models, however, and this is interesting to me. I like this. I like that we're doing this. We have another model that is coming from a Black Library series. We had Gaunt's Ghosts, and those obviously were extremely popular. And so we have Captain Vitrian Messinius. Yeah, that seems good.
I'll let you go on with that.
He's really cool. He has a power fist that was given to him by Bobby G, apparently, which is great.
It's
So
like,
he's
oh,
from the
good
Dawn.
job. Here, have a fist.
Yeah, have a fist. He's from the Dawn of Fire series, apparently. Again, Space Marine, so I'm only like my maximum level of enthusiasm is only so high. But he's here. And I like this precedent of taking characters out of fiction and putting them in the game.
I like that too, because I mean it's one of the problem with Dude on Horse from the Astra Militarum Codex is that he pops up and we're supposed to eventually grow attached to him as a character.
Right.
Like he's not an HQ choice as just a generic HQ choice. He's a character with a story and his
Mm-hmm.
horse has a name and all that. And we're supposed to go, oh, this is cool and thank you for the backstory. But that is a completely different approach to them saying, here's the fig for this character that's been in this trilogy and has
Yeah.
gone through all of these things. And he's got the absolute coolest power fist that you've seen on a Space Marine so far, because that one has a horse on it. Like
Right.
it's and it also gives you kind of an appreciation for it gives you hope that if you do have your own favorite character, you've been reading a series and like, oh man, this character is so dope,
Yeah.
that maybe one day that character is going to get a fig.
Yeah. I always wanted an Underworld's warband of the crew from Vermintide. That's what I always wanted. I thought that would be fun. But then they put out that other Witch Hunter one, and it's kind of already similar. And
Uh, oh, you know what? It really depends what direction they take it.
yeah,
Saltspire with a rat on his head is not something we've seen in Underworld so
he's
far, and
fine. He's doing
it's
great.
fine. It's great. If you haven't played Vermintide, it
It's
is
so
a
good.
delightful game. Darktide is also a lot of fun, but because Darktide, you create
You
your own
make your own
character.
dude, yeah.
The customizability up a notch, but the awesome voice line, not so
Little
much.
down, little down.
Yeah, a little down.
I do
So,
declare Blessed Sigmar every time the game starts anyway, because
gotta.
Salty's the best.
Salty is
But
there's a lot of cool books that seem to be coming out.
yeah,
Some
a little something for everybody. Apparently, we do have the Horus Heresy, Siege of Terra, The End and the Death, Volume 2, which feels like a lot. Like that is a lot, guys. That's a lot.
What was it? I had a friend recently who started getting into Warhammer 40K and asked a friend,
Yeah.
what should I read first? And they were told you should read the Horus Heresy novel.
Yeah, Horus Rising.
And I had to cut in and say that that was a bad idea. And I compared it to getting a full primer on the American Revolution as a prelude to learning about World War II.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there are some connecting threads, but you're not getting the full picture, and also you're not going to get to play the game for a long time.
Long time. That's a lot of stuff.
It is. That's the thing. Like the whole Horus Heresy series is massive. It is years of reading investment if you are on a time budget.
I will say that one thing that GW does great are their limited edition books. Like their limited edition versions are really cool, especially in this case, the Cypher book. That limited edition cover is badass. I mean, the regular cover is also great, but the limited edition one is pretty terrific.
Yeah, it is, and it's funny because Cypher is a little bit like those walkers that we were getting for Cawdor in Ash Wastes.
Yeah.
Is that sometimes I like Cypher and sometimes I don't. And like they're just trying too much with the edgelord thing.
Sure.
Like, but you don't understand. He's not part of any he's a rebel in an already rebel faction. He's a rebel amongst rebel, and he's got a cool sword. And it's like,
All right,
calm down.
Right.
Enough. Like I'm sure he gets all like he's got a hot topic vibe that is sometimes very difficult to endure. It's like, he's got two pistols, one's plasma and one's not, like John Woo, and it's
fine.
But at the same time, I mean, he does have a unique path in the 40K universe that's kind of cool and interesting.
Yeah.
So you can't take that away from him, at least not without a gunfight, I assume.
Yeah. We also have an Ursula Creed novel coming, which is good. I love her. I was very excited for her, like the first time they announced her model. And so that'll be a lot of fun. There's
Right. Like,
this.
I mean, they announce models and then they go back to those models.
Yeah, that's exciting. There's a World Bearers box set collection, which will definitely make your mom think that you're worshiping Satan, which is fun. There's a lot of stars and skulls on it, and that seems great.
An old demon head. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah. Like
What else
people
do
will
you
question
want?
what those books are, and then you're like, it's so much worse. Um, we have a
I,
leather-bound Armageddon special edition that looks also really cool. Any of these books, like the special edition books on your bookshelf, like people will ask questions. Don't let them be in your Zoom background. Like they're not good for your image. They're
I,
amazing,
I, I
but
think we're at a point where I was gonna say we're at a point where the satanic panic is behind us,
oh
but
no, it's back.
there.
No, it's
Yeah,
it's
there's a
it's back real
resurgence.
hard.
Yeah, no, I've listened to the podcasts.
Mhm.
I know.
Mhm. Now, I do love a good artifact, and they are also putting out 2 Siege of Terra maps, which are like leather-bound scrolls.
They're
And
good.
they're really cool. I'm like, I want leather-bound scrolls. I don't care about the Siege of Terra, really, but I could be persuaded to like make my own leather-bound scroll of something important to me. That seems like a great plan. So yeah,
Oh, a map of
yeah.
Aquilo, a letter-bound map of Aquilo.
Mm. See, this is how it is.
And
Steal all
yeah,
of
see,
their
this is how it
ideas.
begins. Yeah, exactly. I mean, merch. Like, they're not inventing merch.
No, no.
Now, if none of these books from the Black Library are what you are looking for in a good Warhammer Space Marine story that you've had you had in your back pocket,
Mm-hmm.
the Black Library is opening submissions for short stories soon-ish, now-ish. Anyways,
After the first of
in
the year, I believe.
yeah, so they're looking for submissions for successor chapters. Little short stories. I think something 5,000 to 10,000 words, which are on the longish side for a short story, but
Yeah.
still. And they're not looking for any of the of your founding legions. They're not looking for your homebrew Space Marine chapter either. They're looking for short stories about some of the known successor chapters.
Now listen, I have been through the Warhammerpedia or whatever, and I've seen some successor chapters, and there are some fun ones out there. Even if I'm not
There are.
particularly, I mean, Space Marines, I'm here, I'm halfway up, and it's fine. But there are some pretty sweet successor chapters.
So yeah, I just to say, like, if you're a writer and you're interested in getting to the Black Library thing, I mean that might be something that you
Sure,
would
you might
have
want
a
to
look
give that
at.
a shot.
Yeah, if you're into writing,
I mean,
I guess.
I guess that's a thing.
Like, who would?
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, that's a thing. I think that they announced today, as we're recording
Yesterday,
this.
today, something like that.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
today.
Time is a flat circle.
Yeah, it has no meaning.
Yes.
Um, I don't know that there's a whole lot else this week.
I mean, we're getting a couple of tidbits here and there. The
Yeah.
rumor engine showed us yet another very dark Mechanicum looking
They
thing.
tease me.
Um,
I'll cry. I will cry.
it's I mean, it looks like someone took a servo skull and turned it into a chaos icon.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, if it wasn't for the mechanical eye, you could mistake this for an Age of Sigmar
Mm-hmm.
bit, but the
Absolutely.
mechanical eye betrays it as 40k.
Yep.
But it is clearly it's clearly a chaos thing. It's got like
Yeah.
little leather straps everywhere. So maybe it's something else, a bit from the upcoming World Eaters models that we're starting to see a lot of.
Feels late for that
And
though.
it feels like, but I don't know, like time has no meaning for the rumor
Ah,
engine
it's
either.
true. You're
But
right.
if you're really into the idea that we're getting Dark Mechanicum because of Vashtor, this is one of
Mhm.
those things that makes you salivate just a little bit
bit.
too much. A little bit.
Little bit. I did see it on Monday, and I I believe my message to you was I haven't been this excited about a rumor engine in a long time, which is good because I did point out like we're not getting our rumor engine advent calendar this year, which was always a fan favorite.
It was
Um,
fun to see people try to turn it into a single
it was
model.
so good, so
It
good.
was
There was the year
great.
that big Slanesh guy had a bunch of previews and they did wedge them all together. It was very good. It was a monstrosity and I loved it.
So yeah, it was worth mentioning the rumor engine, but
Yeah.
you're right that I think we are getting slim on the content. Oh, there is one last thing. If you'll
Yes.
allow me, just we do finally, because we have the pre-order for the
Oh
that
yeah.
Forge World model for the what's it called, for Necromunda, the Chronos pattern iron crawler.
Mm-hmm.
We finally get an idea of the ratio of plastic to resin, and it is not what I
It
expected.
is, and not only is the proportion not right, not what we expected. Like the pieces are not what we
They're
expected
not
at
I
all.
not exactly the opposite of what I had in mind, but
No.
not the configuration I thought.
Like
So
the gunner is the gunner is plastic.
which
What?
because here's the thing, right? Like if the gunner is plastic, to me that means that the plastic kit is essentially a core kit for Necromunda specifically.
Yeah.
So if the resin parts are going to be switched out for other things, it is going to remain for a Necromunda kit. So if we're
Right.
seeing variations of this model of the iron crawler, maybe it's another type of pattern. It's still going to be for Ash Waste. It's not going to
Yeah.
be for other factions. And that is wild.
Isn't that weird? Yeah, I looked at it and I was like, "You've got to be kidding! None of this is like because like if you look at say something like the bikes that they did with the special character Marina, whatever her name is,
Yes.
like the bike itself was all plastic because it was the same kit, and then it had different sort of saddlebags on the back and a different gun mount, and then the characters were different. Were well, she one of the driver was the same plastic, but she was resin. And this is like the opposite of that. I don't want to like resin track tank treads. No, never again. I've done it and I don't ever want to do it again. I don't like tank
I
treads to begin with, and
yeah,
I don't want them in
they're a
resin.
thing.
Yeah.
Usually the mold lines are not where you want them on these things.
Never.
So, I mean, it is still a model that is easily converted to whatever you
Oh,
want it to
sure.
be. But I am excited to see what they're going to do as as another iteration of this. Like, what's
Mm-hmm.
going to be the next Iron Crawler? Is it going to be a closed back? Is it going to have like a bigger gun?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Is it gonna have
Is it going
wheels?
to yeah, wheels? Maybe it has wheels, and maybe the back is designed so that you can put wagons behind it in a land train type configuration.
Mm.
Maybe attach some of those trailers that we've seen for the Ridge Hauler. I don't know. There's a it
Yeah.
opens doors that it's funny because it limits it to Necromunda ash wastes in a way. But
Yeah.
at the same time, because it's limited to that, then you have to start using your imagination to figure
Right.
out what fits in that box. It's an interesting concept. Pricey model, but
Yeah.
if you want a centerpiece for your Necromunda
Yeah.
ash waste games, that is certainly it because it looks like a big boy.
It sure does. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up for this week. I imagine things are going to get pretty sparse from here on out, but we will do our best to bring you exciting content. Um, Hopefully, we will have some more cool announcements. Maybe they'll like give us a Christmas present of like, "Hey, surprise! Here's this awesome thing that you've been waiting for! Yay!" And that would make me happy, but I guess we'll
That would
see.
be in line with what Games Workshop usually does,
Yeah,
but who knows?
yeah. So until then, all of our social media information is in the description, and happy hobbying. Materials shown in this video are provided fully or in part by Games Workshop for promotional purposes. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping us a like and subscribing. Thanks for watching.